Hello, it's Michael again from Blue Jam Tarot. In today's episode, Pick a Card reading, I'm gonna do what are people afraid to admit about you, okay? Now, this is going to be quite interesting, to be honest, because you never really know what you take out of this, and I'm quite amused and at the same time excited with the possibility of the range of like emotions and information we can get from here. I can assure you this is going to go deep. And let's start by saying we have four piles. First pile has this polished pink quartz. Second pile has like also pink quartz, but it's irregular. Third pile has selenite, and fourth pile has black tourmaline. Okay, take your time, pick your pile. Don't take the message if it doesn't resonate. If you find something that is particularly triggering to you, that's okay. You don't have to take it, you don't have to own it or claim it if you don't like what you hear. The messages are general, and I've had a great share of like experiences, comments, and people saying that it resonates and in the positive way. So, yeah, really proud of that. Really proud of the people who genuinely and deliberately show support to me and my channel. To these people, I want to say this is what keeps me going. Just like a side note, like a really, really, really important side note. And that your comments and support make this whole channel work and really happen, because if I well, for me it's really important to get the emotional approval and support for the things that I do and for the impact. So know that with every interaction you give to my channel, not only give it popularity, but also it really makes me strong enough to continue on doing it. So that's something I care for, the comments, the reactions, and the love. Okay, let's begin with pile number one. And I'm aiming for a 15 to 20 minutes reading. So yeah, and I'll get the juicy details for you just in case. Yeah, let's start with pile number one. Hello and welcome, pile number one. You chose the regular pink quartz sphere, and we have the Tower card. Okay, the range of messages is insane in here, but the prevalent kind of energy I got from this pile is you could be a transformational zodiac sign, whatever it means for you, and if you feel like it's about you, you can be also a transformational person. What are people afraid to admit in this context is the fact that they are afraid of you, okay? Now, the subtlety of why and how they are afraid of you is pertaining to the spiritual aspect. Also, it's pertaining for some, if not in the definition of the spiritual, it's about you stepping in, and by virtue of stepping in, you kind of unroot some false foundations in people's lives, okay? With the tower, it's as if we are dealing in here, because we have like a church represented in here, and it's all dark and the monsters are all over the place with this card. It's as if there is, again, a very strong prevalent message of integrity and virtue, which remains uncorrupted in the face of chaos and in the face of this whole place, arena, jungle of the world. People are afraid of some aspect of justice and rightfulness when it comes to you. It feels like you establish true foundations, or you establish moral foundations when you enter the room or you enter a relationship. And there is also, for some people, it will translate itself into authenticity. If it's not on the spiritual spectrum, if you don't resonate with that kind of idea, which is more vague, you can be a very truthful, a very bitter truth, but better it be the truth than a very comforting and like sweet lie. I feel like you unroot a lot of people's manipulation tactics and shady behavior by simply shining into your own power and morality. I feel like there are no roundabout ways or shortcuts when it comes to the interactions that people got with you. So I feel like you're really uncomfortable in the calling out the BS, and quite strongly so. I feel like you remain like this uncorruptible church that has these lights. You know, if you will inspect this card, you will see that the upper part has this bright white glow, and the church itself in here has this warmth and uh, glowing aura that comes also from within. I feel like this is a representation, a symbolic representation of your love and your own like quality of being into this world that is uncorruptible. I'll go ahead and say with this pile that I know the challenges in life are and can be considered quite harsh. This pile has seen stuff that they better wouldn't, you know? Like it's almost tearing my heart apart to say this message, but it's almost as if you didn't deserve to know or to feel things in life. Like I feel like this one might have gone through very terrible and quite deep pain, or it's as if something left you quite in shambles for some reason. It could be like close to tragedy or despair. And it's not about yourself, it's about the quality of the world in which you reside. So, but still, it feels to me like you remain unbroken. Like there is a whole layer and aspect to yourself that remained uncorruptible, and it's undeniable about this pile. You know, it's undeniable. People are afraid to admit that you remained like this lighthouse. Like this card reminds me of a lighthouse that still glows, you know, that still shines and wants to keep this light and to show the light to the other people. Despite the monsters around in here, I feel like people are afraid to admit that even though they hate you, you love them in return, and that you are fearless. I cannot really say fearless because it feels to me like this pile has seen such things that it makes me feel like regular people would be left broken after seeing the things you've seen. I don't know what this is, but it's something to do with the corrosive nature of pain and suffering into this world, and it's very specific. It's like you've seen some very vile parts of people's hearts, people's actions, or this whole world. It's like this tentacle that tries to smother this whole tower. It still remains unbroken. But the atmosphere, people are afraid to admit that you're way too resilient in the face of all of this. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary that the resilience this pile got, it's almost godly. It's almost as if it's not from this world. This wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for a very strong God connection, if it wasn't for a very spiritual person to be here in this pile. Honestly, it's as if you don't have much to win out of loving or giving love unconditionally without like even loving your haters. You stand still. You stand still in your virtue, even if you don't receive anything of a benefit out of it. And you remain like this uncorruptible church in this whole landscape. This is also not all. Okay? Like, this is not all. There is some sort of retribution when it comes to this pile, as if you are a messenger of order. That's the kind of energy or a message that I'm feeling. As if you are a messenger sent to inspect the quality and the level of things that are happening right now. It's as if also with like the divine messenger type of message, you are required to step back or to retreat and give that information to the right like power. Almost as if like, you know, the Bible stories where they have like angel people or angels come to earth, inspect the situation and give their final verdict. That's the feeling I get with this pile, and the people scared. People scared that you see everything. People scared to admit that you are uncorruptible. So you're that kind of person who's going to jump in and not accept trickery. You are that kind of person who's going to hold dear their values and moral standards to such an extent that they are uncorruptible because you hold a very strong and pure connection or promise to yourself. And this promise is far greater than yourself. It almost bridges itself into the God aspect, universe aspect, whatever it means for you. It's almost as if I'm speaking about a sacred duty. I don't know what that means, but people are scared you're not going to give in. People are scared that you are going to hold the end of the bargain that um, you've agreed with. It could be from the past, but it could be also from the afterlife. Like you kind of like remain loyal to your vision, to your own duty, and to your own like mission or purpose on this earth. And it's something to do with helping or re-establishing order. And it's very sacred. I want to say this, pile. People are scared that almost as if there is some sort of foreign aspect to you, to not say like alien again. But something about this message says this pile is not going to be bendable, you know? There is nothing this pile is going to be bent in. And I want to say it's not easy, but it feels like this pile can go at great lengths to reestablish order, peace, and, you know, love, even to the people that inflicted pain. Not to say that there will not be consequences for them, but also not to say that you're going to tolerate abuse or conflict or suffering for the sake of it. For like, this pile is not about passivity. This pile is about vigilance. People afraid that you are going to take their place, you know. If you have leaders in your area of residence, in your workspace, people are afraid to admit that you have more authority than they do. And it comes from your presence, from who you are as an identity, and not from the achievements or the career ladder in which you are. As if there is a strong message of integrity coming through with this pile, and it's like this pile got it, like got the qualities of a leader, but it's almost like I don't care for leadership. What I care for is for equal, loving, and compassionate interaction beyond lies and cheating. Definitely about this pile. As if, you know, like there will be retribution for every single detail, for every single gesture, for every single wrongdoing. Like you keep a record. Very interesting pile. Okay, and the next card for this one, and this one is obviously like a checkmate, game over. We have the High Priestess, okay? My favorite card, to be honest, but this message, the Tower and the High Priestess, I'm honestly scared, even like myself in here with this combination. It's almost as if people are afraid to admit that you're way too ahead of the game or you know too much, okay? The High Priestess, it's almost as if with the Tower, you know too much about people's nature, and it's actually forbidden. Like genuinely, people feel like you know some things that are not right. Like you shouldn't know that, right? So it's like it's almost as if people do shady stuff, and it's almost as if it's saying, you shouldn't know this. You should mind your business. You shouldn't intervene. But again, your intervention is not, it's not your intervention. Like, trust me when I say this pile has a spiritual connection that works through them. So this allows you to be at the right time, in the right space, in the right circumstances, almost as if the High Priestess is like a watchful card, a watchful person. You keep a record of every single little thing that is closely linked to justice, retribution, and wrongdoings. You keep like a record, you know? And it's almost like you shouldn't know this, okay? You don't have to know this. Like, people are like genuinely clenching their like teeth together, grinding their teeth with fear and with anxiety. It's not anxiety, it's terror, okay? And here it's with terror of what you're capable of digging up, okay? We have the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like this pile, you're waiting for the right circumstance or opportunity to step in, and the allowance or the invitation is being given to you by your intuition with the High Priestess, or your spiritual connection or God connection. I feel like this pile is the best representation for they waited and then they acted upon it. You can be also slow, but very methodical, logical. People are afraid that you are going to call them out. This is not kidding. These are two major arcanas, and lies, manipulation, deceit, and strongly justice in here is going to be reestablished with your mere presence, with your intervention. Like, I feel people misjudge you, or they think that they can project regular stuff upon you, and when you prove them wrong, they are genuinely terrorized by the amount of lack of control they have in comparison to you, and in comparison to the amount of information you have. I feel like this one can be, you can be someone who gets under people's like skin in the good way, where you analyze and really like discern really well what's going on in the atmosphere, in the vibe of the whole like room or person's mind or soul, literally, because the High Priestess knows stuff that go beyond the normal human perception. It's almost like spiritual awareness, or awareness in general, that allows you to be, as I said, in tune with energies, circumstances, people's mind, thoughts, emotions, and even body language. I wouldn't be surprised if we have in pile number one people who read others. Almost as if you kind of also build up energy, and people are afraid that you are unpredictable. Eight of Pentacles, you know what you do, and it's not the first time you do it, okay? And it's almost as if there are no setbacks for you. There is only right timing for you. There is only buildup of energy for this pile. Almost as if even this pile can go into demise in some sort of like, not literal demise, but some sort of transformation or demise themselves. And people are afraid that they are going to be outshined, or in this case, as if they're going to lose control. Because I feel like you are very transformational with a tower. Like, I feel like you can grow, and then you can come back and F these all like people who wronged you or who wronged your people, the people you love. And I feel like this is coming through as justice, which is even not only directed from you, but these people are going to get the consequences of their actions because you felt it, because you've been there, because you were the one to witness it, okay? And it's almost like you, like your emotional barometer is going to be what determines people's fates. And I know this sounds crazy and dramatic, but it's something about the spiritual aspect that is allowing you to be like this whole embodiment of justice, or as I said, divine messenger. That was something you don't see every day of a message. Pile number one, I really hope it resonated with you if you did. If it did and you did enjoy the reading, please let me know in the comments, definitely. If you want, of course, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you want, share. I'm not gonna be against it. Yeah, that was all. Stay safe and keep on doing what you did. Keep on fighting for your cause, which will definitely will definitely take people on their tower moments for the sake of their own like personal moral assessment. Okay, very powerful pile. Thanks for watching. Okay, moving on to pile number two. Your stone was, or crystal was, pink quartz, but in comparison with pile number one, yours is irregular. Okay, what are people afraid to admit about you? And we have the Five of Cups. Sorrow. Pain. Now, hear me out. The prevalent message is you have dug up a place in people's hearts without you even realizing what a place you have there. And people with, if you depart, if you are someone who is long distance with a group of people, it will also apply. But also if you think that you are taken for granted, or if you think that people don't care, this is enraging actually. You don't know how much you can be missed. You don't know how much people are afraid to admit that they are very much so attached to you. This is not one person. This is not two people. This is not three people. Can be. Can be a small group which is attached to you. But overall, I feel like this is more about your nature. And also, you quite don't realize how much people miss you or can miss you if you are going to leave. Okay, this is very strongly playing itself out in romantic relationships. Okay, and I quite literally don't care, like I literally don't care if you're going to jump into the section of the comments and say I don't believe this. You cannot believe this. If you want, you don't have to believe this, but trust me when I say when you leave, it's as if the whole sun is leaving. And no, I'm not exaggerating. I'm true to the messages that come out in here. This one is very strong. I don't know what specifically you do. Let me check. I'm quite curious why this is the case, but it's something to do with emotional or the heart, okay? Interesting, because we got strength. Now, I feel like you could also be a people tamer or someone who's capable of taming others through softness, kindness, and love. And because this is a Cups card, you don't know how much people miss you. You don't, like, you literally cannot comprehend the amount of sorrow you can dig up in people's core soul essence, you announcing that you've had enough and you going. I'm not saying bluffing about it. I'm not saying manipulating people into a reaction. No. What I'm saying is, like, when you're serious about leaving, it digs such a chasm of a wound. Five of Cups is like longing. Five of Cups is deep pain. It's bitterness in sorrow. Especially with this representation, it's as if someone leaves and the light, this trail of light which fades away with this person on the horizon, it's like your presence, you got some people addicted. They are afraid to admit how much space you occupy in their heart. Okay, Also, we have a very strong prevalent female in here. This could be a mother, this could be a sister, this could be a very close person. Also, this could be your romantic partner if you are, for example, whatever the case may be for you. Especially this pile, like, hear me out. If you're going to say to me in the comment section, like, I warn you in advance, you are warned. If you're going to jump in and say, nobody wants me, nobody needs me, nobody cares and loves me, and it doesn't resonate, I have no words. This is like, when I saw this card, I was actually, for me, remembering what pile which card has. When I saw this one, it was such a strong energy that I couldn't like hold myself from like writing it down somewhere, because it was such a prevalent thing. And almost as if, you know, many in this pile are going to feel like they don't get it. Like, for you, this message can seem alien. For you, this message can seem strange and almost confusing, because you cannot, like, at times you don't feel like this. Mind it that this card shows a person who's departing in the horizon with their back turned. Okay, so this is not a person rowing. Like, that's at least what I see in here, but it's like this person is rowing with their back, like they're facing the horizon, and their back is facing to the people that they left. Okay, we have also very clingy energy in here. We have someone who's a little bit more detached, but still they are like very bitter and sorrowful, like sorrow coming through. Like, this is Three of Swords. Also, this is Five of Cups, of course, in here. Like, upset and deep, like crying. This is not even crying, this is sobbing. This is crying their heart out. We have a clingy individual in here, right? Someone who doesn't want to let you go. I also see like a scarf in here, as if this person would like to somehow tie themselves to you. And mind it, this is what people are afraid to admit. This doesn't mean that you are going away. This doesn't mean that you are going somewhere. It could be that I'm not saying, I'm saying what people are afraid of admitting. And in this case, it's how much they love you. And quite the irony in here, like, it's going to be the message of you don't know it, because people don't show it until you leave. Okay? Definitely this pile, when you're going to be focused on your own directions in life, if you aren't already, and if let's say you leave, right? So you change places. You don't know what emotional chaos and disaster you're going to leave behind. You don't know. Like, trust me when I say you don't know, okay? People are also, I feel like we have both messages of genuinely caring, being affectionate, or wanting to be by your side, but also afraid and distant. And we have also the other extreme of like a lot of people in here, like the majority of the groups of people you've had or you have in your life that are fighting this feeling of, I can't believe this person has laid such a foundation in my heart for them to just go like this. This is definitely a grief card, a grief situation, a grief associated person, and I'm not sure what specifically you did with people that they feel this way when you leave. Also, it could be the case that this pile is very compassionate or nurturing, or it could be that you see people's vulnerabilities or their capacities, both good and bad, and people just can't get away with this. You know, it's as if people are saying they cannot go away after showing me this, you know. It's as if you occupy a space in people's hearts, and when you go, it's like almost like breaking a very important contract, and people are in literal disbelief, emotional chaos and literal disbelief that you can leave. And I'm not saying this to flatter or whatever. It feels to me like there is something about this pile with a strength card. You can tame people, and I don't know why and how. And I can say I want to go right now into it, but with the strength card, definitely taming, okay? Definitely somehow being endearing in people's eyes. And I literally don't know how you do that. Yes, we do have the Two of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. I feel like even the bravest, even the most conflictual people can get a soft spot for you, okay? Even if you keep people at a distance, you know. I feel like in time with the Knight of Pentacles, like you have this capacity to shine on like people's hearts, whatever. And with the Four of Wands, in time, it is as if it's revealed that you were and are always that worthy connection to have. People are afraid to admit that you are someone they don't meet every day. And they're also afraid to admit that for many, like this is, they want to be the chosen ones to be a part of your life. And this goes beyond relationships, like on a romantic level. And I feel like no matter what's the relationship type, I feel like genuinely people want to reach out and help you. And with the Four of Wands, it's as if a promise for something more. But they want to be in good graces with you. Like with the Four of Wands, as if, you know, there are very good stuff in store for the people you care for. And you can also be a very slow-paced person and someone who like kind of minds their own business but is not afraid to help others. Is not restricted to like be deliberate in like supporting other people. We have also the Sun, okay? Yeah, who you are, because it feels to me like you could be like a friend or a person who's capable of bringing hope and compassion to situations that would otherwise be considered hopeless. Or you can be very present emotionally for people. We have also the Nine of Cups. So it could be that you can have the worst cases of people or the worst cases of like heartbroken, despair kind of people. Um, Almost like Five of Pentacles, like the worst situations in life. It could be heartbreak, it could be lack of money, and you could still be that beacon of hope, you know, in even in the worst case scenarios. Like your presence can be that factor to make that person feel like, you know, it's worth living, like it's worth going through. There is always a solution. This pile is like this. Also, this is feeling like, this feels to me like a connection in a lifetime. You can be considered or seen, and people are afraid to admit that. People are afraid also of owning their mistakes or their wrongdoings in regards to you, because it feels to me like when the cards are revealed, when time passes, and we have in here this like departure with, which is quite natural, you know, death can also be a departure in this case. Not saying like anything, but it's just like a metaphor. Everything has a beginning and everything has an end. If you work with these people, they can quite understand that you're not going to be, there is no promise for a forever, like you having this job position, but it's almost as if people want to cling to you. People want to cling to your energy, to your presence, and they want to have you by their side because they consider you with a Four of Wands some sort of energy or a person who's giving them on a very subtle but very real level a sense of support and optimism that they wouldn't have without you being there. I literally saw there like a spring in the night. Yeah, and we have, I bet you like this is insane. We have Temperance. I feel like you're also capable of gatekeeping in here from a card I saw, but we have the Nine of, yeah, I'll show you these to you. Uh, Lovers, definitely the person you're going to fall in love with or you're going to love, this is like this is going to be like a chosen one, not kidding. You can gatekeep that for sure, but I feel like you have your reasons. But almost like Temperance, you look at these cards and I'm not kidding, like you're going to explain to me what this is, because in both Temperance and the Nine of Cups, and this is must I say that this is a dark not spread, this is a dark deck, you know. This is almost a sinister, you'd say. It's a deck that intends to reveal the darkest parts of things and stuff, and we have the most positive cards in here and representations. People hold you really, really close to their heart. They're even afraid of admitting that because it makes them very powerless to admit the fact that you have the control to leave them whenever you desire so, or whenever your personal direction calls you in some other endeavor that doesn't include this demographic of people. And this is not a group, like this is a lot of people. I don't know what you're doing, how you're doing it, but you have a line of people wanting to be in your presence. It's insane. I have in here very watery energy. Also, earth signs will play really well. Of course, we do have a lot of energies of like all the stuff like once. We also have swords, but the dominant card is the Five of Pentacles. It's like, what are people afraid to admit? It's the emotional layer. It's the emotional heartbreak and pain you kind of leave people in when you leave. And you leave somehow. You kind of leave. Like you show what you're capable of giving. It has a lifespan and then it's gone. And with this gone, it's like almost grief and sorrow and pain comes tagging along and reminding people of what you were, all along. Almost as if for a lot of people, they're going to regret a lot of things they did or a lot of things that happened between you two, and they will blame themselves. They will end up blaming themselves for your departure, even if the situation will call you into another direction. This person, it could be also a love interest, that they are going to blame themselves for the fact that you left because they thought or they feel like if they were better, if they treated you better, then perhaps they would be qualified as important enough for you to stay. This is very heartbreaking to hear because I'm tapping into the energy of that person, but that's their reality. That's something I cannot deny. If people are not ready on a psychological level to fight for you, this is not your fault. This is also perhaps not their fault. Perhaps this is their upbringing, but I don't feel like this pile is going to settle for less. And I don't I don't feel like you're not going to be everyone's savior. I feel like you are giving love because like you are on a vacation, or like you give love because you have it, but it doesn't mean that you're going to save everyone. And people are well aware of that. And already we have some people realizing your worth in their life. But oh boy, this is going to be actualized when you're going to literally physically leave. This is going to be like clearer than the sun in the sky. That kind of thing in here, you know? Yeah, even like with the Queen of Wands, you can have demographics of people who will hate you, will be very upfront about it, will be very deliberate in like hurting or wanting to show you that they don't like you. But when you leave, it will be like, yeah, there was something about them that I really loved, and I should have treated them better. I thought that I have like all the life, like all the years or all the days in my life to actually change my behavior whenever I want, but when you're going to leave, oh boy, this is going to shoot them right into the face. Yeah. So that was all pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and I really hope to see you in the future readings. Take care. Okay, this is pile number 3. You have selenite. This is going to be a reading in regards to what are people afraid to admit about you. And we've already got some very spicy messages. I feel like you are someone who's either in a growing power position or you are growing in your power, and I feel like we have an unfolding potential in here. And we have such a potential that people are actually comparing themselves to you and feeling like you somehow are going to outsmart, outshine, or you're going to take their place. Especially if you are studying right now, if you are working at a job that has this career ladder, you can have like people are afraid of admitting that you will kind of ascend in the career ladder and quite excel at the things that you do even more so than they actually do it, you know. It's like I feel more dedication or a thirst for knowledge that is even greater than what people usually get, you know, what people usually invest into their work. I feel like also we have in here a message of potential. So that means people see you as a very promising person to advance in life, or it's as if, you know, some people can see you right now in your energy and really think that, you know, it's quite curious, like, I'm really wondering what this person is going to become, and like with what they're afraid of admitting, it's almost like this energy. I'm afraid that they're going to become something even better than I am. Also, I feel like people recognize this is a beginner type of energy because this is a page, okay? Almost as if people are saying that at their age, sorry, at your, like, let's say your age, and them at your age, they did far worse than you did, or you do in general. Also, it's giving me what are people like, almost like wait and see what I'm capable of, almost as if it's even exceeding expectations with this pile, and people can't see very far. They can see that you can become someone really powerful, but how powerful they can't quite grasp, okay, in this case. And I feel like you're doing your work in silence and preferring to keep your cards hidden, like hidden to yourself. Yeah, it's definitely like you don't show a lot. People are afraid to admit that you've got some secret plans or secret actions or secret intentions that they are not able to read. Yeah, we have the sun. I don't know what you're doing specifically with these people around you, but they are afraid that they're not going to catch up, okay? I feel like this message also will play itself out with people, as I said, who just freshly like joined something like as a study or something they do at a beginner level right now, but you have this mastery level, you have this aspect already like in you. And what I mean by that, it could be, for example, a situation with studying. Like, for example, the majority of people are going to go um, to learn a course or to university just because someone told them to do so, or because they were kind of pushed in life to take that choice, you know. In your case, there is like some sort of genuine energy or genuine intention to study something, and as if you are like learning something or going in a direction not because everyone told you to do so, but because you kind of wholeheartedly chose it and you're going to take it to the next level, to a very like hardcore grind level. So for example, if everyone went to like medical school, right? So this is an example. And they kind of felt like, you know, I have to go there for the money, or I have to go there for my future, whatever. I'm quite ambiguous and I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm afraid, and, you know, like I have to do something. No, this pile will go for it, but not because they are afraid, but because they genuinely want to pursue something like from this direction. And it's almost very masterful. So, when people will see you excel at something, like especially like this thing that you really like doing, they're going to say like this person, they will achieve a lot. You know, it's that kind of energy of the future is bright for this person because their level of commitment and dedication to the work that they do is actually up a notch in comparison with other people. And I feel like this is genuine passion, pursuit, joy. This is like, there are people in life who are living in a survival mindset, and they're surviving in their careers, but this pile, or study, but this pile feels like they are passionately living their life. They're living their life not out of lack. They're living their life out of the possibility, or out of the promise of a potential that can be actualized. And this potential, you hold it, like you hold the imprint, you hold the actual like matrix for it, and you're not afraid of taking the journey to it, even if it means like going through hardships. I feel like this can be also an example. Yeah, like we have Four of Wands. Like you don't care if, even if you want really, like if you want to study something, you want to like be This is going to be the pile who has the wildest dreams, and they're going to be told like, nah, this is not gonna happen. Like, we don't have enough money or whatever. Like, even that, it makes you even more stubborn on pursuing what you want, you know? It's almost as if this pile has this energy, like, I don't want everything to be given to me like on a silver platter. Or I want to make it myself, like I want to make it work by myself because I enjoy the thrill of the adventure or the journey itself. And yeah, people are afraid of admitting that you were right all along. People are afraid of admitting that your voice in all of this was right from the start. You're not waiting to prove anything, but I feel like your people in life were very consistent in their judgment to show you that you should be doing what they think is right for you. And also with the Queen of Cups in reverse, you feel heavily misunderstood. I feel like this pile can be very opinionated, but in the good way, where they can feel what is right. They kind of don't make, like, you can't make sense of it, okay? So it would be like a logical step to listen to everyone, but you kind of believe in yourself, or you've learned to believe in yourself. Like, you've learned to skip manipulation, fear, or commentaries from other people to such a degree that you are now like ready to step into your own power and make your own decisions. Yeah. People are afraid to admit that you're going to make it work, and they are going to be displayed in a very shameful light as a result of this glow up in your case. And it's as if, you know, even if you are at the beginner stage, like, you know what, like, you must have a vision, okay? Like, you must have a vision of what you want to achieve, or you really know, like, there is specific detail in the whole tapestry of your wish. Also visualizations, or a map of dreams, if you've heard about that. Mapping your desires, taking pictures of what you want to achieve, and sticking them on the wall, and looking at them constantly every day. This is definitely this pile. So people are afraid to, if you told people about like your dreams, what you want to achieve, and they brushed it off, they are afraid that you are going to quite make it happen and make like them seem like they're a fool. And this is a group of people. Mind I say that because interesting, because with the sun, even if you can be represented by this page of swords, you can be very daring, very, people can see you already kind of embodying being successful, or, you know, it's that kind of energy where someone is being born, and when they see that person like interact with the world, like especially the elder people, they can look at them and say, you know, this one is going to go far. This is definitely about this pile. It's as if the daring energy, the passionate, or the whole vibe that you embody already speaks volumes to a lot of people who are wise and perceptive enough to give you the validation that you are already someone of great value, even if you haven't like taken actions, like concrete actions in your life to show that passion being brought into fruition, right? I feel like also this pile is very misunderstood, upset, Four of Swords. Yeah, let me take it, like, let me take this card for you in here. And the Hermit in reverse. I feel like this pile is very lonely, singular. An island of a person could be, nobody believed in me, nobody believes in my dreams, okay? We have also the Four of Swords, like you kind of found yourself in a situation where you were okay with it, you know, you kind of accepted your fate, that people are not going to believe in your dreams, but that didn't make you despair, like it didn't make you go into like, yeah, we have the Hanged Man in reverse, how fortunate. You believed in yourself all the way through. If you didn't believe all the way through in yourself, it could be that you were recently discovering that, or you grow into that awareness, you know, or you see the intricate logic, or the intricate like way or road in which, you know, I'll make it work. I don't know how specifically I will make it work, but I'll make it work because I feel it as if this pile has already made it, like, and it's already like written in your fate that you're going to make it happen. Okay, so this could be literal financial success if you're looking for it, if you're looking for a career ladder thing of an achievement or a milestone in that. Definitely know that this is yours if you want to choose it, if you want to make it yours. Yeah, and definitely don't look at the minor inconveniences that are being presented to you, because we have in here a lot of optimism or hope with the sun. And a lot of people who are like downplaying your light, downplaying your character, downplaying your whole journey. And they're not like, we have a lot of fearful people in here looking at you and saying that you should be doing this and that, deeply inside of them actually projecting your fear, like their fear. It could be the case that they kind of trained you into that fear, like you shouldn't, like I shouldn't listen to myself, I shouldn't really like trust myself because these people know what's best for me. Like, quite not, you should listen to yourself actually, because you have yourself, you have your own like voice that guides you in life. Don't abandon yourself. This pile, I don't know if you already arrived at that point where you understand and realize how important your inner voice is. But if you haven't, you will definitely, because the cards in here show transformation or a journey of transition from a very youthful energy to the sun energy to optimism to growing. Like, I see maturity in here being if you haven't, like, it could be that it's describing your progression and you're already in that space. Yeah, King of Swords, definitely a lot of people already have done this. And it could be that the energy or the message for this reading is like people are not wanting to talk about your success. People are not wanting to talk about the fact that they were wrong, okay? And that they shouldn't have dictated conditions upon you, okay? It's a very funny quiet energy. Like Six of Chalices, almost as if some people would want to apologize, or some people would want to really like say, I'm sorry for really mistreating, misjudging you, but it's almost like it's too late, you know? Yeah, very interesting. Nostalgic also energy. They're afraid to admit that, you were way like softer, or um you should have been treated more like nicely. If you left some people in here, like if you moved, if you cut some people out, they're afraid to admit that you were right and that you shouldn't have tolerated their abusive behavior. I feel like there was some sort of retaliation or maybe confusion, or like you withheld a lot of commentaries or opinions about people for the sake of a peaceful interaction, but even that wasn't taken or appreciated really well. And it's as if with this energy, like, I'm gone, deal with your stuff alone, go find a specialized psychologist, that kind of energy, and deal with your stuff, because I'm done, I'm leaving you, I'm finding someone else, and I'm not responsible for your judgment, for your own like abusive behavior. And people are afraid to admit that you were quite actually right, like not fully because ego, but people kind of feel like a lingering energy of, perhaps this person was kind of hinting at something that can be, yeah, right, but I don't want to admit it. Like, that makes me a bad person. Therefore, I'm kind of open to it, but kind of not. Yeah. So yeah, we have all the messages in here. Ace of Chalice is the last card in the reading. It's as if, people want a second chance, but it's kind of late. People are afraid to admit that they kind of messed up their chances with you. How many they were or are, it's up to you, but definitely like people messed up like a good relationship that they shouldn't have, or they were Knight of Swords, a lot of conflict. Yeah, a lot of people trying to prove themselves that they are right and you're wrong, and you kind of left very abruptly and caused a lot of upset because we have the King of Cups in reverse. people not owning to their behavior. And the consequence of you leaving, you departing or detaching was something that really woke them up with like a cold shower would, in the morning. That kind of energy, okay? So that was all pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I really hope to see you in the future videos. Take care. And lastly, we have pile number 4 with black tourmaline, and we have the moon card. I feel like we've had a past reading with a moon card, but from another deck. This is rather amusing because the message is repeating itself. I think that was, I think that was pile number 3 or 2 from What Are People Talking About You, but not saying, yeah. Anyways, we have the moon card. You can check my previous video on that. You'll also find on the second or third pile the moon. People are afraid to admit that they're both afraid and intrigued. Okay, very magnetic, very drawn, curious. They're afraid to admit that they want to get to know you. I feel like we have in here a lot of exes, people trying to get back to you. I feel like we have a lot of, like, if you are dating with dating apps, I feel like you have some very desperate admirers trying to knock at your door or something like this. You're kind of remaining unfazed in all of this. People are afraid to also admit that they are afraid of you because you are unpredictable. The moon card is about confusion, uncertainty, and fog in general. Very strange, unknown stuff, almost esoteric or intuitive stuff. It's like when they delve into the relationship with you, it's as if it's very uncharted territory. It's very minds all over the place, but yeah, it's people are afraid to admit they are actually a little bit intimidated and afraid, and they're not knowing how to interact with you again in here. This is the message that's coming through, and that they don't know where they are on the same page, like in life with you. So this means people don't know, they are afraid to admit that they are a little bit out of control when it comes to the relationship with you, and they don't understand where they stand with you. They don't understand whether you like, love, or quite literally hate them, because I feel like with the moon it's very unclear energy. And it quite makes people scared to admit that they have a person in their life that is so mysterious or closed off somehow that it makes them like a little thrown off balance. And they don't like that, okay? We also have the Ace of Chalices and the Chariot card. I feel like this pile is going to be faced with some very reactive behavior from people's part, because people are trying to provoke you for a reaction for them to see where they stand. I feel like this pile is definitely someone who's so neutral that it's almost scary, because so non-emotional, so I don't understand what to expect from them, as if people want to both try with this ace to kind of disturb you emotionally in the good or bad way, for you to get destabilized and for them to see your true face or their true, like your true intention or your true opinion about them. And it's almost as if we have some manipulators in here with the Chariot trying to somehow like sabotage or the relationship with you, or to manufacture it in a very subtle or sneaky way. Sneaky to not so sneaky, because in here with the Chariot it could be literally direct confrontation or people trying to find fault or issues with you. Yeah, this is very strange. Also because the moon is a very confusing but powerful card, and especially in regards to nighttime intuition as well. I've heard that aside from the High Priestess, it could be that people kind of feel or perceive you to be far more advanced than they are, or you kind of have this element of intuition or spirituality that seems foreign to them or strange or quite like why this person has this aura of mystery to them, you know. They are afraid to admit that there is something about you that is quite literally unreadable. And it kind of like, again, people like certainty, people like to know whether they are friends or foes with you. And in your case, it's as if this ambiguous energy leaves people in a little bit of a chaos energy or a little bit of a scared or like tense or frustrated energy. Some are tense, some people are really upset, or some can be quite stressed out by the fact that they don't know who they are to you. Okay, it's very unapproachable as well. It feels to me you can be unapproachable, or people are very hesitant to interact with you because of this, but it could be like, it could be the case, which is very strangely interesting for this pile, because I feel like if you were to be asked, you wouldn't necessarily say, like if you were to be asked, you'd say like, I'm behaving in a very normal way. But again, and the fascinating thing is because in the last video about what people are saying about you but won't, like thinking but won't say, we've had again a moon represented there and a chariot, and we in here have a chariot card and the moon again. I feel like there is like this, but they feel very pulled or drawn towards you, like people in general. You can be very magnetic, you can be very like mysterious or very unique or very original in here. And this energy or this element makes people feel really drawn, or they want to see, like they want to see and know what you represent. Okay, like they want to see what's the essence that makes you go, like what's the essence that makes you be who you are. Very expressive people, but I feel like not right now. Okay, so not right now, meaning that perhaps you're not so used to being like this center of attention, and it could be that it's throwing you off balance. Okay, people are afraid to admit that they're obsessed. Three of Swords. And I feel like you, even with your silence and with your distance, you can drive people insane. I feel like also it's going to play itself out as a message of people from the past. Like if you've had very conflictual people in your life and they see you as very like steady or composed in the face of conflict, and if you recognize yourself as being more cold or cool-headed when it comes to conflict, then it's driving them insane. They're afraid to admit how much power you got over them with the fact that you don't react. I feel like we have some quarrelsome people, judging like people who trying to get a reaction from you, also people who are laughing from the distance, and also people who are trying to like spread the drama, and you're like remaining unfazed in all of this, and it drives people insane. Like it drives people, you hate the drama, okay, you run away from drama. Also it could be the case that people are afraid to admit that you are emotionally mature to such an extent that they are feeling a little bit not quite so emotionally mature. Okay, yeah, we have the Two of Wands, so it could be that you are embodying a very consular type of person, someone who's capable of holding space for another one, or someone who is capable of giving very good advice in very difficult situations. Okay, definitely. The Devil in reverse. Okay, that's powerful. And the Emperor at the and Ten of Chalices. Okay, I feel like this is quite hilarious as an energy, because if you are a male, it really doesn't matter like the genders in here. They're all for everyone, the readings, and you can switch the roles if you want. They're not gender specific, but I feel like you're embodying very strong, like someone who knows psychology, someone who knows how to give an advice, someone who's also like a coach or a counselor, that kind of energy, or someone who's really smart to, or both, to give information or a roundabout way to solve a situation in the good, like the best possible outcome. People can come at you, want to contact to you with that problem of theirs, and they feel like you've got answers to absolutely everything. Or also, what's striking about this pile, I feel like you have more emotional stability. People are afraid to admit the fact that you've got more emotional stability than they do, and that you would be more qualified to give advice even to people who are even like older than you. And it's kind of intimidating. Like, how is this person younger than me capable of giving advice when I, as someone who has more years of experience, should be the one to give them advice? And it's kind of unfair, like jealousy in here. And something about the spell as well, like you've got some very passive, also not quite so because this is Emperor, very passive, but also active power. So it could be that you are, people are afraid to admit that you are quite someone to make an impression on others. Very like, on an emotional level, people can feel belonging, people can feel like accepted by you, or they can feel like they have a special spot in your life or a special spot in your heart, okay? They're afraid to admit that this attachment of theirs is kind of getting in the way. Okay. We have also the devil. Like, I feel like some people are afraid to actually compare themselves to you, because if they were to do so, they would be triggered. You could also play as a mirror for people in general, because oh my god, we have the Seven of Chalices. I feel like this spell has no chill, like in the direction of their reactions or the impact that they create on people. You kind of like deal with your life, or you kind of try to be easygoing in general, but kind of like that easygoing and neutral energy, it's making people feel really intimidated, because usually, like, I feel like this style is, you can be very emotional, you can be quite like affected by life equally as equally as people are, but you can be more masterful or more cold or detached with these, to such an extent that you can make clear decisions and not let your emotions influence the outcomes. Like, it could be that you're also a very intellectually gifted person, or in general a very gifted person, because we have some powerful cards like the Devil in reverse. We've got the Moon card, the Chariot. Like, you could be also an achiever, but someone who's also definitely very wise and resourceful when it comes to giving information out to people and helping them out. Okay. Yeah, I feel like definitely there is honesty and integrity with this pile as well, and people are afraid to admit that they are not as moral or with such high levels of integrity as you are. And it's kind of like you give off like, I don't care of like people's opinions of me, and even that makes them even more like pissed off for some reason. Okay, so that's funny, because the star, like, you've got attention. We have the moon, we have the star. I feel like you could get much more, like, you would be surprised how much attention you get on the usual basis, but it's not because you want it, because it kind of happens. With the stars, it's giving me a situation, for example, someone, let's say like at a pool party, okay? So someone like really minding their own business, having fun. And it could be like that scene where you get out of the water, and all of the sudden you kind of like wake yourself up in the middle of a situation where everyone is staring, but you're like, did I ask for this? No, I didn't. Therefore, why is everyone staring at me? So it's definitely like uh, Ace of Pentacles. People can feel, or they're afraid to admit, that for many you are a gift. You are a gift in people's lives, okay? You are a gift on like a very interesting level for people, and they are like, they're wanting to prove themselves, like their worth to you, like very, Knight of Wands, very active energy, active pursuit. So if you are in dating apps, I'm sure you have a lot of people trying to chase you, okay? Yeah, I don't know what you do with people, but definitely it's like a very unfair game of like them chasing you and you kind of being like, yeah, maybe another time, you know. Fighting for you, Seven of Wands, a card of fighting, a card of like boundaries, both boundaries from your side, but also people wanting to really be a part of your life. It's hilarious, to be honest. Like you are doing people so dirty. Yeah, High Priestess, you can act all mysterious and all, but yeah, it's like I know my worth. Like I won't settle for any less. Very popular, but in the shadows somehow like people. It's not like this. It could be also, but there is popularity as if like people are gossiping a lot about you. Okay, so it's like you being the hot topic and also the forbidden topic with the high priestess and the moon. It's like let's not talk about them because they're going to find out. Okay, that kind of energy. So that was all pile number 4. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe button and comment below if this is your situation, and I really hope to see you in the future readings. Take care.